Hey, cabin lovers, welcome back to another episode of My Dream Log Cabin podcast. I'm your host, Lindsay, and I'm excited to have you with me today. I want to bring up a very important and useful topic for those of you who have a dream of building a log cabin. We're going to talk about contractor-friendly log homes. Recently we've had Donna Peak, the editor of the Log and Timber magazine, on the show, and we've talked about the resurgence of log homes and just a newfound interest in this type of home. And what often happens when a homeowner fancies themselves about building a log cabin, they go on this hunt of finding a builder. That's the easy part. And then finding a contractor. Sometimes that's the hard part. And I want to share these points with you today because not only can they help you work with a contractor and explain to them that it's not as complicated as they might think. And I'll explain why that is as we go. And then also, you're welcome to share this episode with them. And for those of you who are tuning in who plan to build your own home, you will also appreciate this episode. So let me first of all explain why the whole thing about contractor-friendly log homes is even important. So back in the 90s, log homes became popular again, right? They had a little boost in popularity. And during that time, what really took off were these kit homes. Actually, you can see if you're watching on YouTube, my home behind me is a kit home. So it's got the uniform CNC logs that are roughly 6 inches. And oftentimes what would happen is these homes would be delivered in bundles of logs, various lengths and sizes, sometimes just straight up, like usually they're about 10 to 12 feet max. And then the contractor would have to basically play Lincoln logs and put it all together, cut out the windows and the doors, and based on the plans, the logs just showed up in big giant packs. And so a lot of contractors really got burnt out on this. It's a very labor intensive. It's much faster for them to frame a home traditionally. So what happens today is that if you want to go build a log home and you run across a contractor, many times they're going to try to talk you out of building a log home and talk you into a stick frame home because it's what they know, right? But the good news is that you can stand up for what you want with some really good value that we're going to have today in this episode. So first of all, let me explain a couple things. What I'm talking about is Caribou Creek handcrafted log homes. We do things sometimes a little different than other companies, but that's not to say that there aren't other companies out there who do things similar to us. So it's important to make sure that when you're shopping around, you ask really critical questions. Like, for example, does the log home builder restack the logs? Do they have a restacking service? We do. Not everybody does. Do they cut out pre-drill windows and doors and electrical chases? Not everybody does, but we do. And another really important question to ask is, does their bid include the roof structure? Believe it or not, some don't. So there's some things you want to ask when you're doing your shopping. All right, so let's dive into why Caribou Creek log homes are contractor friendly. So first of all, I want you to picture this. You've bought your land, you've hired a contractor, you've hired your log home builders, you've already designed your home, and construction is underway. So on the site, on the property, your contractor has out there the dirt work guys. They're building out the pad, the foundation for your home or the basement, whichever type of foundation you decide. They're getting all the water, the electrical, they're running the electrical. That's what I'm trying to say. They're running the cable and the power and all of that fun stuff. If it's not already there, they're getting the grading out the ground, and they're putting in any septic system that you might need. All of this is taking place. And so as a homeowner, it may not feel like very much is happening because it's looking very much the same day after day. Meanwhile, back here in Bonner's Ferry, our log crafters are building your log home by hand, one notch at a time. We're pre-cutting out those windows, we're pre-cutting out the doors, all to specs of the plans that you have built or have designed, right? Like if you had designed. So that's happening here. And this is the beauty. It all comes together really quickly. So at some point when the foundation is ready, we are ready to deliver the log package. Our team we send a crew of guys out to your site to restack the logs. We hire the crane, we send the crews, and we've also accounted for the shipping. By the way, I mean, the restacking service is optional, but the majority of customers have us do that. So if you don't want that, let us know. But what we do is we send these crews out there, and then the logs show up, and we typically, what we've done is we have the trucks with the base logs arrive first. So then we can get the crane, we can reset the logs starting from the foundation all the way up. And as we go, we use our proprietary non-settling design method. So that ensures that your logs won't settle. Now, this is an incredible solution. This is a very modern solution for you if you're considering building a log home. And I got to tell you, it's definitely worth its weight in gold. I mean, I don't know if that's the right analogy there to use, but in the end, it really is, because first of all, it saves you money on interior framing and interior plumbing and extra things that used to be having to be done because of settling. But this, and I'm going to share with you something from my own experience here with my log home. It was built in 1997. I can't tell you how many doors I've had to take off to shave the bottoms because they're sticking. The floor is uneven in places. Like, the settling has definitely taken its toll. I love my house, so I'm not really complaining, but that's what you're going to see when you build a non-Caribou Creek home. Let me just say that. Okay, there's some other really important things I want to share with you about my house. And these are all factors of settling. Is our window, our sliding glass door. We've had some pretty serious issues with that because, like, one side, the foundation has dropped, and so the whole thing has shifted. It's a bear. It's a problem we're dealing with. But those are the things that, like, years later take a toll. So when I tell you that there is a non-settling design system, I really encourage you to check it out. Like, you can just give us an email. I've got our email listed below, or check us out at cariboucreek.com and ask about this. At least find out more about it for yourself. Because the beauty of it, and this is where it ties back into the whole contractor-friendly log home, is because when you build a Caribou Creek log home with our non-settling design method, you can finish out the interior just like a framed home, just like a stick framed home. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that the interior walls can be framed and done just traditional with, 2x4s and drywall. It doesn't take any complicated having to adjust or think about any settling. Another really sticky point was the plumbing. Plumbing was always something that had to be thought about with a settling home, and now it doesn't. Not only that, but a non-settling design also gives you a lot of more flexibility with the creativity of your home design. You can have more modern look and feel because the logs are not going to settle. They literally will not settle. So check it out at cariboucreek.com. And meanwhile, those are just some of the things that work really well for contractors. And the truth is, a lot of contractors don't even realize that this is an option. So for you to have this information is so valuable, because now when you have your conversation with a contractor, you can say, hey, have you built any log homes before? And they might say, no, it's not something I'd like to do. But say, what if I could bring you or connect you with a builder that can finish a home, that can build the home, restack the home, and then you could just finish it like a traditional builder? Would you consider that? And then share this episode, let them understand like what we have in store for them. So now, like I said, we already have built out the windows and doors. We already have the roof system in place. We also go one step further, pre-drilling all of the electrical chases and running mule tape through those holes so the electrician can come in and just pull the wire. Like, it's easy peasy. So listen, be sure to share this with your contractor. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is, once we rebuild the home, it typically takes about a week. It depends on the size of your home. If you have a really, really large home, it might take 2 weeks. I think the most I've ever seen is 3, but that was like a megalith, a megalith cabin. But the traditionals are definitely within a week, and in some cases, even as little as 3 days. So it's definitely worth it to consider the restacking service. And then we can also offer your contractor a log home consultant who's there every step of the way. If they have questions or aren't sure about certain things, we'll be more than happy to jump in and help them. No problem. So definitely reach out to cariboucreek.com today. Consider us as your log home builder for your next dream log home. Thanks for tuning into today's episode, everybody. Until next time, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to my Dream Log Cabin podcast. Please be sure to leave us a review. Reviews are great because they help the show get shared so that other people who are looking to build their dream log home get the same value that you are. And we also love your feedback. If you have any specific questions or things you would like to hear more about, by all means, leave those in the comments in the review section, and we're more than happy to craft an episode around that. Also, feel free to reach out to me, Lindsay, at cariboucreek.com with any questions that you might have. Thanks again for tuning in.